Howdy,
Boom.
howdy, 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 howdy. We are back in full effect. How you doing, LW? Good to have you, man.
Hey, man, I'm doing great. You know, the last time we were on with you, Neil, it was such an amazing time. Had such a great conversation going on, and so I've been looking forward to coming back for quite a while. To be honest with you.
Hey, man, looking forward to having you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. So we got a lot going on in our country today, man. And I thought, who better can we get this information and kind of just extrapolate what's going on and just kind of delve into the details, because the devil's in the details, man, of what's happening right now. A lot of things that's going on in our nation. People are just not, I don't know, maybe they're just not, they're so caught up and consumed in their daily ordinary lives that they're not seeing. But this thing's going on, man. One thing I want to talk about just out the gates. What do you think about this whole deal, man, that Joe Biden made for the Brittany Griner exchange? Like, oh, is it It's Griner, right? Brittany Griner, the take your time.
Griner, or I heard maybe. How do I put this and not be too inappropriate? Griner or Wiener? I'm not sure which. But if you want my honest opinion, probably one of the worst trades in any NBA history.
Yes. The Merchant of Death, LW. The Merchant of Death. What is that? I mean, how does that make us look like on the global stage? Like, how are our foreign enemies going to perceive us after that move, man?
Idiots. And I'm sorry I'm looking down, guys. I'm just I'm trying to send the link out to all my platforms. So I'm not being disrespectful to Neil at all. And I'm going to jump in chat here in a minute, but I was just trying to share everything out on Facebook and everything so we can get some people rounded up tonight and have some fun. This trade, it projects weakness to the rest of the world stage. Like, hey, you can go nab any celebrity. Heck, grab LW or grab Neil. We'll trade. We'll trade some bad guy for him, right? It does not make any sense other than it's a pathetic administration that's nothing less than a dumpster fire. I mean, you do realize that we have a United States Marine that is still over there that we could have traded for besides this gal or guy or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And to be fair, I don't agree with her getting 9 years for having a little bit of weed on her. And I believe it was actually oil that went into a vape, right? And she got like 9 years. But the thing is with Russia and China is they don't put up with that nonsense, period.
They don't
like there's no, they don't play around. So I disagree. With them holding her like that. It should have been a slap on the wrist and a fine and sent home. But the fact of the matter of leaving a Marine behind, well, hey, how about this, Neil? Afghanistan last year. The pullout from Afghanistan was an absolute dumpster fire. Would you have expected anything less from this current administration?
I would have not. It just, listen, one thing I will say about Joe Biden, he's consistent in his constant gaffes and his constant reminder to the American people that he is incompetent. He is consistent with that. And if this trade alone doesn't demonstrate to America at large that we have the most pathetic administration ever recorded in history, I don't know what does, man. Look, I was pissed off. And like you, I share the same sentiment. I agree. She shouldn't have been serving a 9 year. Yeah, that been a little bit more harsh than what we would have done. But my thing is, hey, you're going into a foreign country. If you're not educated on what the laws are out there, that it's on you. On you. And hey,
Great
don't
point.
expect. And look, you disparaged America. The entire time while you're here, you didn't care for America. You thought America was still, this regime of oppression and systemically oppressing. But my thing is, hey, if you don't care about America, well, why don't you go to another country? Oh, you're there at another country and you don't like it because their rules are a little bit more rigid than ours are. So now you want to come back. So what gives?
Well, let me ask you this question, Neil. Do you think the decision by the White House in this trade had anything to do with color, with sexual orientation? Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. If you look at all their picks for cabinet members, they picked justices by their skin color, and what is that called? That's the definition of racism, right? They pick the health secretary and other clowns by their sexual orientation, transgender this, transgender that. Heck, that kid that he picked for some kind of nuclear. I don't know, consultant, blah, blah, blah. Heck, he just got arrested the other day for stealing a woman's suitcase out of an airport and sniffing underwear. Yeah,
Twice.
Sniffing underwear and putting them on his head. I don't know what he's doing that stuff. You can put lipstick on a pig, but a pig is still a pig. And that guy looks horrible in lipstick. Somebody should really tell him that, because he's making the bald-headed guys out here look really bad.
Mike, LW, you're way too harsh, man. You're way too harsh. All right, listen, we gotta extend a little grace here, okay? All right, now listen, it was just a simple mistake. It was just an honest mistake, okay? Joe Biden, perhaps there is a possibility of turning this ship around. Is there any hope? I mean, come on, is this where our country is headed, or am I just being too dismal right now? Like, help me understand.
The problem, Neil, is if there's not a course correction by somebody other than the current administration, we are headed down a path I don't think anybody wants to go down. But I got some hope for everybody tonight, and like I said, I'll save it for the last 20 minutes of the show. So stick with us, and you guys do Neil a huge favor. We had a big night tonight on the channel. We had well over 600 likes. Hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to Neil, please do so. He has a different flavor for bringing you guys great information. It has a flair about him that I enjoy. And if you want lighthearted reality, jokingly, but still bringing it, Neil's a great guy. And share this out. Let's help build this channel too, because this brother here, he is going to be the future of social media as well, just like myself. So I believe that lamestream media will be dissolved at one point, and it's going to be people like Neil. It's going to be people like myself and other people out there like Too Strong, Stu Peters, Ann Vanderstill, David Harris Jr. There's so many great people out there that are doing citizen journalism right now. April to June. I mean, I could list off 100 different people that I've been in contact with over the last 12 months that we are the future. And so let's help build the future by helping Neil's channel here by liking, subscribing, and sharing it out.
Thank you there, LW. I appreciate that, man. And guys, hey, for you guys who've been following me for some time, do the same. Go check out Liberty Warrior Nation. Well, let me just verify, because we've had our talks in the past where you've had you were kind of creating, what we talked about. I don't know if are you still at Liberty Warrior Nation, so that way all our subscribers can go check you out.
Yep, we're at Liberty Warrior Nation, Channel 4.
Awesome.
And they can find us at libertywarriornation.com. You can find me at Liberty Warrior Nation on Facebook. We're on Rumble. We're on Twitter. We're on Truth Social. That's the thing, Neil, is you got to be multi-dimensional to survive out here, because unfortunately our conservative voices, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what our background, no matter what our sex is, they will still silence and censor our voices for putting out the truth. And that's why we all have to band together and just really work hard and fight like heck to take this country back.
I want to play something here, and I want to get your opinion. Guys, Listen, I know we got a lot going on in our country right now. I know a lot of things are just kind of seen out of whack right now. But one thing that I've noticed that the lamestream media hasn't been talking about recently lately is our border control. Our border control. We haven't talked about that some time, and we need to draw attention to that because listen, we've got droves and droves, thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants migrating to our country. What are we going to do about that? You guys don't believe me? Okay, well, I'm going to play this real quick, and I want to get your opinion on this, LW, and let me know what you think. What's going to be the inevitable outcome of this? 1 second here. There we go. All right. Uh-oh. All right, so I know it's a little small here. So, let me pull that back. So, what it says here is breaking a huge migrant caravan of over 1,000 people crossed illegally into El Paso, making it the largest single group we've ever seen. The city of El Paso reports Border Patrol now has over 5,000 in custody and has released hundreds to the city streets. What are your thoughts on this? Why is it that it seems like they're gaslighting as if this is not taking place? The lamestream media. Is this really a problem right now, or is this just a figment of our imagination?
Besides the current administration, besides historical high gas prices and 40, 50-year high inflation, this is one of our biggest challenges as a nation to date. So if people don't know, I've been reporting on this for well over a year, just reporting on this exact TikTok video that he just shared with you guys yesterday, honestly. And so let me run through some numbers for you guys real quick, and let me tell you how important it is. First, disclaimer, I believe in legal immigration. I believe every person in this world has a right to come to America to better themselves, to better their families. But it has to be legal. It cannot be illegal. I do not condone or support illegal immigration. Okay, so here's the rundown on this. I done the math on this, and roughly almost 500,000 illegals cross our border every 28 to 30 days. Okay, if you do that math, by the end of 2022, we could have seen somewhere roughly around 6 million illegals by the end of this month have crossed our borders in 2022, which if you do some research on that, 500,000 is roughly the population of Atlanta, Georgia, crossing our border every 28 to 30 days. All right, how does this affect Americans? How does this affect you, the listener, today? Well, the state of Washington is looking to take on about 100,000 illegals here in the next few months, and they want to immediately put them on social programs, meaning they want to get them on Obamacare, Biden care, Medicaid, Medicare. That is a burden to the average everyday citizen, the American taxpayer. We fund that. We pay for that. Not to mention that they come here, they bring children, the children go in the school system. If they don't speak good English, then we got to pay for translators, special education and help for those kids to get an education. We pay for their school lunches. Then you want to talk about welfare. They get on welfare, which also taxpayers pay. Hospitals, kid gets hurt, mom gets pregnant, mom has baby. Mom goes to the local hospital, has that baby. Who pays for it? The state. That's your property taxes. That's your grocery taxes. This is an epidemic of biblical proportions that the current administration has rescinded. Donald J. Trump's border policies and just had nothing more than open borders, and we've seen that now for the last 2 years. The president of Mexico and the Mexican federales actually had 20 buses of these migrants that you just showed the video of. They actually bused them from around Mexico City to the border of El Paso and dropped them off and waved, "See you later," and let them cross the border. Now think about how this impacts our border control agents, right? So we are spending more money, taxpayer money, for Homeland Security and border agents, but the problem is the border agents' hands are tied and they're not allowed to really truthfully do their job. Now under the Trump administration, our policy under Title 42, and that's why you're seeing all these, and that video that you showed was actually a historical video that you just showed there. That is the highest recorded illegal crossing to date, which was roughly, I think, around 5,000, something like that. That was historical. We've never seen a crossing in less than a 24-hour period like that before. That was caught on tape. But the Mexico actually busts those people over there, and the reason why they're coming from El Salvador, Ecuador. They're coming from all over from South America because Title 42, I believe, at the end of this year is null and void, meaning there is no return policy to Mexico. It's wide open, buddy. It is wide freaking open. And they're coming because of that. And so under the Trump policies, Trump held Mexico accountable for these people crossing our border. Mexico had to help foot the bill. Mexico had to put federales on the border to help to detour people. And our policy under Title 42 under the Trump administration was when they came here illegally, we turn around, we send them back. We made Mexico take them back. Mexico had to send them back to Venezuela or wherever they came from. And again, disclaimer, I'm not against immigration. I am all for 100% legal migration here in America, but not illegal immigration, and that's all I have to say.
Oh my goodness. So what are we? Okay, so what is? So basically, we have an open border policy right now.
Oh, wide
open. Is Kamala? Oh, gosh, she's such a joke.
Heels up.
Is she supposed to? Has she even made a trip down to the border yet? Has she even looked into this?
No, yeah, she did.
Oh, she
made it about 700 miles north of the border, which means she never truly made it to the border. She did her cackling, hopped back on the plane, took off. Joe Biden actually appointed her to be the border czar, meaning she was supposed to be dealing with this crisis at our border. When have you ever seen Kamala Heels Up Harris in the news? Really, she's nowhere to be seen. You know, I bet you I could count on one hand how many times that we've actually seen her not do anything but just pop up in the news, kind of cackle, make fun of things, and then disappear again for another 2 or 3 months.
Oh man, this is going to have a detrimental effect on our country. I think if we don't address this, it's only going to get worse. It's what you just shared with myself and my audience. This is news to me. I didn't know that this was the highest historical.
Well, it gets worse.
Oh, share, please do.
It gets worse. It gets worse. So Chuck Schumer and the Democrat Party is now trying to convince at least 7 or 8 Republicans to vote on a bill that would give over 2 million illegal aliens amnesty. And so these illegals are tied to. So here's their talking point for you, Neil, just in case you come across this or your viewers hear something about this. They're tying these illegals to family members that they have here in America that have served in the United States military. Which honestly, I think that should give people merit, right? Personally, I think that should give people merit. But the problem is these illegals are actual criminals. So there's no merit there for me anymore. You've just lost your merit by being a criminal here in the United States of America. And so they want over 2 million illegal aliens to have amnesty, to be able to just have the slate wiped clean because their family members have served in the United States military. And then, not to mention, the city of New York wants amnesty for over 2 million illegals in the city of New York, and they want them to be able to vote on issues that pertain to the city of New York. So, hey, man, it's wide open, brother.
So they're gonna get say so as far as our political decisions and our policy is concerned now. That's what you're saying.
Well, those 2 million actually will just pertain to the city of New York. But here's the real number. They want 11 million illegals to have amnesty here in America. But what they're not telling you is that number is actually closer to 22 to 23 million illegal aliens here in America. And if they get the 11, hey, brother, you know for a fact they're going to push the other 12.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
How would that change the dynamic of our voting system, for example?
Radically, man, because they're not bringing the traditional American values with them. They're bringing third world matters to our country, issues that are completely not pertinent.
They're turning us into a third world country. On purpose. They want us all enslaved to government. They want every one of your listeners right now to rely on government to save them and not to be self-reliant, because it's all control. If you control the food, you control the people. You control the power, you control the people. You control the money with this new executive order, 14067, which has the potential of being enacted, I think it was actually yesterday. So they've done a test run on the digital currency out of the Fed, per executive order from Joe Biden, which was 14067. And that could be bad news for all of us, because if they control the money, it allows them to surveillance all of us, which they already do anyway with the Patriot Act. Absolutely. But it also gives them control over your account, meaning if you don't have a good enough social credit score, and if you think I'm crazy, hey, China's already doing it, they could just shut you off because they don't like what Neil's putting out there on his YouTube channel, or if you don't have a strong enough, and it's also going to be linked to the Green New Agenda, which means, Neil, if you have too big of a carbon footprint, you lose points on your social credit score, which means when you go to the grocery store to buy groceries, if you got $500 worth of groceries in your cart, they might only allow you to have $400 in your account, and you're $100 short. Now, again, stay tuned. I've got some great news for you tonight. I've got some hope. I'm just sharing with you information. Neil's asking me questions. I have to give answers.
Yeah, LW. This is heavy, man. This is some heavy stuff, even from me. Let me shift over to so Nancy Pelosi's out of there. What's your thoughts on Nancy Pelosi? You know what? I gotta give a round of applause for that, 'cause that's beautiful. Finally, how long has she served? It's been how many decades?
140 years, something like that. I think she came over on the Mayflower.
So who's gonna take her stead? Like, who's gonna step in her place? Do you see?
Oh man, that's like a whole another hour conversation. I do believe that the corrupt Republican Party will weasel and figure out a way to put Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. I do not agree with that. I would like to see somebody like Jim Jordan. I know some people are talking about Kennedy out of Louisiana. I think it's Louisiana, who would make a good speaker. There's a couple other people that would make better speakers of the House than Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is bought and paid for by the deep state. Kevin McCarthy is owned and bought and paid for by Vanguard, BlackRock. You want to know how I know? Let me drop a bomb. Okay, you've heard of FTX. You heard about how the guy just got arrested. Okay, so the Biden administration sent $40 million over to the Ukraine for the war. Now, they've sent a whole lot more over than that, but that is one exact amount that they have sent to the Ukraine. Well, So the Ukraine funded the FTX digital currency through the kid named Bankman Fried, I think is his last name, Jonathan Bankman Fried, something like that. So he is the designer, the developer, the CEO of FTX. So he took that $40 million that they funded, and of course they continued to fund FTX over there. But that guy turned around and was now listen to this, if you haven't heard it yet, a major donor in the 2022 midterm elections for the Democrat Party. He funded the Democrat campaign by $39 million. But here you go. Here's the big one. He also sent $2.5 million to Kevin McCarthy and Mitch the Turtleman McConnell for the RNC, and I believe they used that money to fight America First candidates like Herschel Walker. They obviously did not throw him any support or anyone else's support. They didn't throw them any money. Hey, the corrupt it runs deep in DC, and it is horrible. So, hey, we're affected by a lot of things, and we really just need to pay attention to what's going on.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, look, I always tell you guys, follow the money. Follow the money. Wow, that's listen, that's new information. I did not know that. So
brother, we should probably have coffee once a week.
You know what? I'm game, man. I'm totally game. So what do you think is going on with Mr. Elon Musk? Oh yeah. So he recently bought Twitter. He's taken it over. He's pretty much flushed out a lot of the Democratic operatives. But he's getting a lot of blowback for that. They're saying, hey, he's become this tyrannical dictator and all, never should a billionaire run a single billionaire run a company. Well, they pick and choose which billionaires they want to support. But what do you think about that? Talk to us about what's going on with Mr. Musk.
Well, I'll be very frank with my listeners, your listeners, and yourself. And I know some of my listeners are going to not like what I say, but I'm not a firm believer or have full trust in Elon Musk. To me, he's still a wild card. And when I had conversation today with Ann Vandersteel, she said the same thing. She's like, listen, he still hasn't fully revealed himself yet. What he's doing at Twitter is great. Like I have no problem with him dropping these bombs, but let's be fair about this. All that Twitter is doing right now is just confirming everything that my listeners, myself, you, and everyone else, all the truthers out there have been saying for almost 2 years, right? So it's confirmation. What Twitter is doing right now is confirmation for me and you and everyone else. And so the corruptness with the current administration and those family members there, I don't want to get you taken down, Neil. I really don't. Listen, I burn it down on my channel all the time. I could care less. We'll bounce back, but I just want to have respect for you and your channel. But it's all out there, and it's been out there for a while. A lot of other lamestream media hosts, co-hosts have been setting on this information for quite a while. I think there's more to come. I think there's going to be just gobs and gobs of information. Matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Elon Musk said it could take up to 2 years to actually put out all the information that he has found. So he has made comment that he purchased a social platform and he also purchased a crime scene.
So if Elon Musk has yet to reveal himself and where he stands, how should we? Okay, so are you saying that we shouldn't put our trust in him as far as reinstituting the space, the veneer of free speech? He's not truly on our side as far as the
I think that Elon Musk is about free speech. I truly believe that. I believe that much. I just don't know who the real Elon Musk is. I have no clue. I mean, he could be really good. He could be really bad. He could be in the middle. I don't know. I'm grateful. I give God all the praise and honor and the glory for what he's doing right now. He fired Jim Baker last week, which is ex-FBI, who was going behind Elon Musk's back, trying to censor the Twitter drops, and they caught him red-handed. They canned him. They've been canning a lot of people from Twitter.
Nice.
So I jumped on Twitter when I found out that I've stayed away from Twitter for years. I have never been a Twitter person, but I jumped on Twitter when I found out that Elon Musk was going to buy it and open it back up to free speech. And so I have a Twitter account there, and I tell you what, I have a lot of fun on Twitter. Twitter is fun. There is a lot of information on Twitter, and it's quicker than Facebook. Facebook, you got to scroll through a lot of things. Twitter, it's pretty quick, and I'm not trying to put this out for Twitter to benefit them in any way. I'm just telling you, it's another platform, and I use it to go live as well. So you can go live on Twitter through your software, which is another platform for me to get my message out. I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter yet. I would imagine someday I might get a handful more than what I have now, but it's free speech, and I want to be wherever I possibly can be for free speech. And as long as Elon Musk keeps his roots there in our First Amendment, I'll support him as much as I possibly can. I just want to see what else is under the cape.
Has Trump made an official decision whether or not he's gonna return to Twitter, or is he still kind of?
No, he ain't coming back to Twitter.
He ain't coming back. So he's gonna stay on the Truth Social platform.
No, that's his platform. That's his platform. So here's some crazy numbers for you. I'm a numbers guy, right? So the first 24 hours that they reinstated Donald J. Trump on Twitter was a Saturday, and in less than 24 hours, he had over 1 million subscribers. Within a week, he went well over 70 million, and I think to date right now, if you pulled Twitter up, I think he's somewhere around, get this number, 87, I think it was 87.4, 87.5 million followers. He has not put a tweet out since, I want to say it was somewhere around January the 8th of 2021. It was right after, that infamous day, and he's got 87.4, 87.5 million followers. Kind of sounds like, maybe the same amount of people that showed up in November of 2020. Just a guess, right? And Joe Biden, the way you think, Mike. Joe Biden has 27.4, and we have been told by lamestream media over and over and over again by their propaganda that he is the most popular president of all time, even more popular than Barack Obama. And I'm not a Barack Obama fan, never have been, never will be. Thought he was a horrible president. But Barack Obama had charisma, and the people loved him, and they still love him, whether I agree with them or not.
He was a great orator as well.
You cannot tell me that Joe Biden is more popular than Barack Obama. I'm not buying it.
The fix is in, Mike. The fix is in, man. I'm telling you, the fix is in. It just doesn't make sense. It is not, something's not adding up here. Help me understand this. And one thing I've also noticed, what's going on with the lamestream industrial media complex here is that they're trying to pit DeSantis against Trump. What's that about?
Division. I mean, come on. If they can convince you that I hate you because you're black, and they convince me that you hate me because I'm white, or whatever they can possibly do to divide any of us, whether it be by sex, race, background, religion, or whatever, it is nothing short of division. They want Trump supporters to get angry with DeSantis. They want DeSantis supporters to get angry with Trump supporters. You name it. It's nothing more than gaslighting a base and trying to boil us down to nothing. And we can't fall prey to it. We have to be smarter than them. We have to realize that DeSantis is an amazing governor. Will he throw his name in the hat for a shot at 2024? That solely, in my opinion, depended on if Trump announced, and Trump did announce. So I think DeSantis will kind of back off a little bit and just kind of see where the cards fall. If Trump was to pull out or something, I think absolutely DeSantis would step in. Do I think, because I know the next question, do I think that there would be a chance of DeSantis being on the ticket with Donald J. Trump? No, I do not believe that. That's not my opinion. I don't think either one of them have the personality to sit backseat to one another. And I think the move for Donald J. Trump is going to be female for VP. That's what I think. I think a good pick would be Carrie Lake, Chrissy Noem out of the great state of South Dakota. If I was advising Trump right now, it would have to be a female, and it'd have to be a female, no pun intended, that has a set of stones that packs them around in a dump truck. And I think that Carrie Lake definitely fits that mold.
What? Okay. What? I have to ask, but why should we just ditch Pence? I have to ask.
I don't know if I won't even want to answer that question. I mean, heck, he in my opinion, did not uphold the Constitution of the United States, and he truly, in my opinion, was never really there to support Trump. He just played a part. I think he really was played by Trump. To be honest with you, I think Trump played him like a fiddle, and he wouldn't go over well for the base. Nobody likes Pence. Nobody can stand him. Nobody will ever trust him again. So I don't think that's even an option. Not even in the same universe of what Trump would be thinking right now. Again, if Trump would listen to me right now, if he's listening to the Real Unwoke, Mr. Trump, I would encourage you to pick a solid, strong woman to really back your move in BVP. And listen, somebody like Carrie Lake could make a really good president in the future as well. So you give Trump 4 more years, and then boom, Carrie Lake could run. Heck, pick up DeSantis as a VP, and then we got Carrie Lake. She runs the course and the gauntlet, and then boom, there's DeSantis at the head of the tip of the spear for 4 more years of another great conservative candidate, in my opinion. I mean, we could have a stretch here if we played our cards right.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can certainly see that. Carrie Lake, man. One thing I really admire about Carrie Lake is that her strong media presence. She knew how to handle the media. That's one of the things I really
She's
admire.
A female Trump. She's a female Trump.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. I was really disheartened by the outcome of the election. How could she have not won that? How could she not have won the election? And considering all of the support she had, all of the outpouring support, how?
Kind of sounds like deja vu, doesn't it?
It sounds like deja vu.
Deja vu, where you had a guy who's America first and loves this country, put God. I believe he's trying to put God first, put him back in this country. But for sure, for a fact, hands down, he was America first, loved this country, loved us, did everything he possibly could. He got us energy independent. We had the strongest economy in over 70 years. We had great border policies, not perfect, but great. Good border policies. A lot of people like to argue his world policy, his foreign policy. I still think he's very strong at that as well. Maybe not everybody agrees with it, but hey, he had better than most. Okay, so you have this guy. He's going around at 70 years old. He's going around and having not 1, not 2, not 3, but he would have 4, 5, 6, and 7 rallies per day, where he was interacting with anywhere from 20,000 to 60, 70,000 people per venue. And he was doing this on the campaign trail time and time, day in and day out and day in and day out. I mean, the guy, nobody can outwork Donald Trump. He gets up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't get done till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, you would see pictures of him getting off of Marine One, totally exhausted, tie off, shirt open. He'd worked his butt off for the American people. This guy was loved by the nation. Then you got the guy who hides in the basement. He has a little get-together. He's got like 12 chairs out there with little circles around them, 6 feet apart. He can't even fill 12 chairs. You're telling me that guy that campaigned in the basement beat the guy that everybody showed up and they had lines outside of the Coliseums. They couldn't even get everybody into the Coliseum that wanted to be in there because there wasn't enough room. They had to start putting up big screens on the outside of these places for the people that showed up could see Donald Trump. You're telling me that guy right there lost to the guy in the basement? So let's talk about Arizona. You got a female Trump named Carrie Lake that went around from rally to rally and had thousands of people show up and listen to her, loves her. Arizona loves Carrie Lake. And you've got Katie Hobbs, which is as corrupt can be, hid in the basement, wouldn't debate, wouldn't show up.
To debate.
Refused. Called her a conspiracy theorist, and she won. Yeah, deja vu.
Deja vu. The fix is in. I'm telling you, the fix is in, man. That really, I don't know. It really deprives the American people of true, honest integrity in regards to our election system. And like, what are we supposed to believe if this just becomes a pattern? Like, it takes away all of the validity behind it. Like, how are we supposed to even trust in this election process if this is just going to continue to perpetuate?
Great question. I got 18 minutes, so here we go. Buckle up. Last time I gave you some homework to do before I left, right?
Yes,
so I'm going to give you some more homework. I'm going to give your listeners some homework. So I want you guys to check out the Supreme Court case out of the state of Utah by the Brunson brothers. Okay, I just had Lloyd Brunson on last night. You need to watch my show from last night. It will blow your freaking mind. Okay, so these 4 brothers, and I was corrected today and said, please do not call them the 4 ponies, okay, because that's biblical, and we don't want to refer to them as that. So the 4 trumpeters, because it's amazing, they play trumpets, they're musicians, and what better term to use as the 4 trumpets when you're talking about Donald Trump, right? So they filed a Supreme Court case. They filed a case about the November event of 2020, and it is starting to catch a lot of traction right now. It's supposed to be being seen by the Supreme Court, and what they did was they sued the federal government for themselves, and they sued the federal government for Neil, the real unwoken. They sued him for me, LW. They sued him for all your listeners right now, for every American in the United States. They sued for us, and it's getting very close. And some whispers are saying it's already been maybe listened to, and there's an opinion written on it. And what does this mean for your listeners? What does this mean for us? Well, they're talking about integrity. They're talking about the 10 days during that fateful day in January, and I won't say the other numbers or anything. I don't want to get you in trouble. But during that event, they were supposed to hear proceedings where our elected officials, over 100 of them, somewhere around 100, were actually talking about the F word that happened prior month of November, right? Yep. I'm trying to be respectful to you here. I'm ready to burn it down. I'm ready to burn it down.
Burn it down.
And so they were supposed to have an investigation of 10 days, and then that day in January happened. During that whole thing, it was, in my opinion, complete distraction to stop the proceedings and not to move forward with what should have happened, and that's why I can't trust Pence anymore. So these gentlemen out of the great state of Utah, God sent them. I'm telling you right now, God has sent these men to be part of this patriot movement. And so the brothers filed multiple lawsuits. They worded it right. It's got a lot of traction. Will it reverse what happened in 2020? I don't know. I can't answer that for you guys. But I do believe that if the Supreme Court rules like they should, which he's predicting a 9-0 ruling on this,
Wow.
I believe it very well could change things for us for the right reasons in the right direction we want things to go. Will Trump come back because of it? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you guys. Will the military come in and take over? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you guys. But it could make some major changes, and we could maybe see some integrity finally come back to the E word. And I don't know. I'm watching this very, very closely. It's something that's been kind of going on. I think one of my mods is in your chat right now, and I think she was the initial person that had sent me the document months ago, and I read through it, and I'm like, yeah, this is all great and everything, but I'm not hearing a lot about it. Now, you can't stop hearing about it. These guys are on all these channels talking about it, and you have to watch the video from last night, dude. You got to tell me, Neil, this guy had a smile from this ear to that ear that couldn't be mistaken. He was giddy as a schoolboy. I mean, he was so happy. He had so much joy in his heart to share his story with my listeners. You tell me if he doesn't know something.
Yes, guys, I would strongly urge you guys to go check out that. I'm certainly going to go watch it. I want to shift gears here really quick because I know we got a little bit of time here. I wanted to get your opinion on, do you think something is going to result in the Hunter Biden expose? Is anything's going to come about from this situation? Are they going to tie it to Joe Biden? Or is this just another farce, another ghost hunt they're sending us on? It's nothing going to result from it.
Well, of course, my heart wants to believe yes, right? And I know we've all been disappointed multiple times with our elected officials where, like Ann Vanderstill said today, a lot of bark and no bite, right? Trey Gowdy, so many others that barked real loud about Hillary Clinton, but nothing ever became of it, right? And that's disappointing. And so, yeah, I pray that we get more bite than bark on this one, and that something becomes of it. And I think maybe with this Supreme Court case that could help push that issue. I think that Elon Musk is also helping in that area. So, to answer your question, I believe I personally, my personal opinion and belief is this time, I think America will see justice, and that's only my own opinion. I don't have anybody whispering in my ear or any crystal ball on that, but I put my trust and faith in God, and I do believe that we're going to see a rebirth of America, and I believe God is going to bring justice to the American people, and I can't lose hope or faith in that. I've got to keep plugging along and believing that, and the way that they have attacked Donald Trump over and over again. He's not even the president. Well, technically, he's not the president right now, right?
Yeah.
But they keep coming after him. They went to Mar-a-Lago. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They're trying to get him on tax evasion in New York and dirty real estate deals in New York and all this stuff. And the reason why is because if they can convict Donald Trump for any of this stuff and make a felon out of him, then he cannot run for president of the United States ever again, right?
That's the plan.
But here's something that I don't know if you're aware of. Donald Trump did announce, right? Correct? He announced his candidacy.
Yep.
Okay.
I watched.
Well,
it. Yep.
I know a lot of people, and my people in your chat will say, "But Mike, he never put a date on it." I get that, but listen to this: Donald J. Trump did announce, and he announced early, and this is a big deal because Donald J. Trump is a businessman. Would you agree with me, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, Donald Trump is a businessman, and we talked about his possible announcement at Mar-a-Lago and how it would be a poor business decision because if he announced early, he actually would lose millions of dollars funded by the RNC for a presidential run and a campaign in 2024. Bad business decision, and he announced early. Now, a lot of people will argue that point. Well, Mike, he doesn't need the RNC's money. He didn't need it before. He's a multi-billionaire. He'll use his own money for the campaign. I don't disagree with that statement, but here's the fact. Donald Trump, when he was president for 4 years, lost over $1 billion in personal business because he was president and wasn't there to look after his company. Of course, he had family and friends and all that stuff that looked after it, but still, he lost a lot of money. So I don't think that Donald Trump would make a business decision like that to announce early and miss out on that money from the RNC. So why did Donald Trump announce early? Well, let's go back to Utah, the Supreme Court case that's before the Supreme Court right now. A lot of things connecting dots, but here's the biggest one. You cannot arrest a presidential candidate, right? So I think Donald Trump is a lot smarter than they are, and I think Donald J. Trump announced early for the simple fact that once he put his name in that hat, that now what the left is trying to do to crucify him is now null and void. It really took a feather out of their hat, threw him a major curveball. And there's so many things that we could talk about all this stuff, but that's what I believe the major reason why Donald J. Trump announced early was to really just kind of stick it to the left and say, ha ha ha, what are you going to do now?
Wow. That is clever. Wow. Well, that's the thing. People get Trump they get him so wrong because I think he's a lot more calculated than we like to give him credit. I think he knows what he's doing.
A genius.
Yeah, the man's not a multi-billionaire for no reason. He's made calculated moves strategically to position himself to where he is today. And look, he keeps us all.
I think he still is.
Yeah.
He's still making those calculated moves for a reason. I do believe that Donald Trump is very aware of what's going on, and he is definitely part of the plan. And I believe that we'll start seeing some of that stuff really come to fruition here very soon. Wow.
Well, LW, it's always a pleasure to have you on, man. I'm so honored to have you sharing all this information for my listeners and inviting your listeners here too. Appreciate you guys who are coming from his channel. Appreciate you guys very much. So, tell my listeners and anyone who's new here where they can find you.
You guys can find us. It's pretty simple. Liberty Warrior Nation. That's the name. And you can go to libertywarriornation.com. That's my webpage. Has lots of links there, lots of information, a lot of good information on that webpage if you guys want to check it out. We also have our merch there as well. And then you can find us Liberty Warrior Nation Facebook. You can find us on Liberty Warrior Nation YouTube. I have multiple channels there. You can't go wrong. Just pick one. We're on channel 4 right now. You can find me on Twitter at LWN2022. You can find me on Truth Social, Liberty Warrior Nation, Rumble, Liberty Warrior Nation. We're out there, Neil. We're everywhere, and we are kicking tail, taking names, and we are going to motivate the Patriot base to get involved at your local level, school boards, city councils, county commissioners, mayors, governors, state representatives, your congressmen and women. Unite with other patriots. Let's put away our differences and focus on common ground, which is to save this country for our kids and our grandkids. Everybody here who is a red-blooded American, I don't care what your color, creed, sex, any of that stuff is, the fact of the matter is you have something worth fighting for. Every one of them. Neil may have something different that he's fighting for than I do, and Lori, your producer, might have something different she's fighting for. Michelle, one of my mods, might have something different that she's fighting for. But the fact of the matter is, we're all fighting for something. So why not fight together instead of being divided? Let's unite. Let's show Joe Biden how we truly unite a country, because he is the divider in chief, not the uniter in chief like he claims he is. And my final word is this. For all you guys who are supporting this great patriot right here, Neil, do me a favor. Hit that like button. subscribe, share this out on all your social platforms. Try to get as many people as you possibly can to follow this man, because I truly believe, again, he is the future of social media, and he will be a big part of the rebirth of America. You're going to see this guy here on some of the biggest channels out there all across this nation eventually someday alongside me. And hey, we might have the dynamic duo here someday. Who knows? And we might be on Fox News. Who knows?
Oh, you certainly burning it down, Mike. I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate the kind words, also, man. Guys, yeah. For my listeners, of course, go subscribe to LW's channel. You guys like to share the video out. Share the video out. We got to disseminate this because look, we still have a lot of our fellow American citizens out there. They don't know. I mean, a lot of people are consumed. We are being crushed right now by a record high inflationary cycle right now. So I get it. I totally get it. There's more important things, important pressing issues that our attention is focused on. But while we're not paying attention and whistling past the grave, there are things going on, guys, that we all should be on a united front and handle together. So we're stronger together. That's my mode. It's my motto. Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you again. Guys, you already know how we close this out. We are speaking truth and reality. And I promise, we stay steadfast. We will reinstitute morality. Have a good night.